for the week ahead. And I hope you had a great weekend. And I know we got a number of folks who have had challenges this weekend. And as always, feel free to reach out and we'll support you in any way we can. So today what we're talking about is the concept of NDEs, what's called near death experiences, and we're going to be taking a look at Lazarus from that kind of angle. For those of you who haven't joined us, or maybe this is the first time, we go through the Bible. We've been going through the Gospel of John, one of the four books of the New Testament. This sort of starts out with, and we call it the four Gospels, and the four Gospels. Gospel means good news, which I love that idea. And there's this beautiful miracle in it where Jesus finds out that his friend Lazarus has died. Jesus goes, raises him from the dead. And that's what we've been talking about over the past week. And so we pick up this story. It's a little bit after that. And it's a very subtle, there's a very subtle part of the Bible here, but I think it invites us into the story in ways that are really powerful. And I want to stress that word. I feel with all these stories, right? We are invited into the story. We're invited into the story. And these stories are designed as poetic truth. Yes, there's some historical parts to it, obviously. And most importantly, they're designed sort of to work on our heart in a poetic way. So that's what we're going to pick up on here today. This is from John 12. If you're following along at home, this is John 12, verses 1 or 2. Then 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, who had been dead, whom he had raised from the dead. There they made Jesus a supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one who sat at the table with him. Now, just some interesting, really subtle parts to that, right? That we might miss historically. So when it says Lazarus sat with him, that was a big deal because Jesus obviously had a level of acclaim by now. He had a level of street cred, as we might say. And to eat a meal with someone of Jesus' stature in the culture meant that you were there to sort of listen to him. You were there as almost as one of his disciples, and hence the Last Supper and all that. You were there to eat with him. You were there to hear from him. You were there to break bread with him. You were there to learn. And it's a beautiful thought because this morning I was thinking about it. What would I do? Like if I had a near death experience and felt that Jesus had raised me from the dead, and here we're talking this physical life, we're not talking the life moving into heaven, what would I do? Well, I would be all about testimonials and books, and I'd want to get on YouTube. I'd want to be famous, want all these different things. And it's interesting because that's obviously not where Jesus is kind of pointing Lazarus. Like Lazarus was there at the table for the simple reason that that's where Jesus had invited him to be. I mean, you didn't just sort of show up at a table and sit down in that kind of situation. And it's a powerful idea. Folks, hey, think about what that says about the character of Jesus. And if you think of the character of Jesus, it's really to be a reflection of the character of God. That Jesus did not come on earth to change God's mind about us, but to change our minds about God. And part of that changing our minds about God is to understand the grace of this moment, right? Like here's this guy raised from the dead, and there's all kinds, and the people weren't all that different. There'd be all kinds of let me show you what I've done. Let me, sort of trumpeting this great triumph over death. That's not what Jesus does. At the end of Lazarus having this near-death experience, he invites him to have supper with him. I mean, think about that. He invites him to have supper with him. He invites him to show up in the posture of a friend and a disciple, a follower. He invites him into the inner circle. He invites him to continue to learn. And it's not about Jesus kind of trumpeting his whatever. It's not that at all. And it goes back again to Jesus's constant refrain about follow me, not worship me, but follow me. So folks, just for today, let's think about that kind of softening. I hope you had a chance to see yesterday's service. It was really powerful. The music was incredible, and the sermon writing team helped to really put some ideas together there around softening in relationships. And I feel like there's a continuum here, where there's a softening in this story too. There's an alternative way of writing the story that John chose because he saw this as such a significant point that Lazarus sat down and ate with Jesus. What does that say about Jesus? It says about Jesus this beautiful invitation that's always out there. Yeah, and so just think about that as you go into the week. That softness and that invitation, not using an NDE to sort of trumpet things, but using an NDE as a celebration because I think we all get near death experiences. Sometimes very dramatically. I don't know a lot of people. I do know some people have had them, but a lot of the time in smaller ways. Even last night I was working with a couple who's going to be co-leading a group with me coming up, and she had mentioned about their daughter who's 8, and she's realized, like, wow, maybe we have 10 more Christmases, maybe 12 more Christmases with her at home. And that's a really different kind of view to come to. And in a weird way, and I don't want to overstate that, that's a near death experience of itself, because we just realize how finite this life is and how precious the time that we do have to share is, and that our job is to pour ourselves completely into the time that we have in front of us, and that time is right here, right now. So with that, think about softening, think about invitation, and think about joining us again tomorrow. So with that, friends, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ring our meditation bell here. For those of you who haven't joined us before, the meditation bell is just to help clear our minds. After we clear our minds, we'll do a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing. And then if you'd like to leave a comment on New Church Live's Facebook page, please do. And I read those online. Some people choose to leave comments other places. That is totally fine too. I'll be commenting on those later. So with that, friends, let's all get a big breath and listen to the bell. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. All right, friends. So, with that, let's go through and see if we have some comments here to respond to. Again, you don't have to comment, but if you do, I like to give a cheery hello coming your way. We got a bunch of comments today. All right. So, comments to people. To first off, Sherry, good morning from down in Tennessee. Welcome a new week. Amen to that. And I love the idea, Sherry, that the Christians moved Sabbath from Saturday, which was to close the week, to Sunday because they wanted the Sabbath to be open the week. Just your little bit of biblical trivia there. Gene, great to see you. Good morning to you down there in Maryland today. Linda, good morning to you, my friend. Marcus, good morning. And I think, Marcus, on behalf of all of us, we can say music yesterday, to use diners, drive-ins, and dives language, was off the hook. So thank you very much. Patricia, great to see you this morning, joining us with that heart. Martha, I like this comment. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to stop doing things and sit and listen. So I had a buddy of mine from down in Maryland, Martha, yesterday left a comment on one of our little streams. And he said, you do realize that the word silent and the word listen are the same letters, just rearranged. And I just thought, that's really good. Really, really good. Suzanne, great to see you, and happy Monday to you, my friend. Marianne, that would be something, having a meal with Jesus. Yeah, and I think he would be a stitch. Just so you folks know, anybody who tells you that Jesus was sour is totally off. I mean, think about it. The guy had a great sense of humor. I think you'd be absolutely laughing, crying, having big thoughts, and totally enjoying a great meal. Mary writes, Jesus kept it so simple to grasp, but we tend to complicate. Oh, to be human. And it's so true. Like it's a very simple message, right? Like it's just, and it's amazing because it's never, Jesus's message is never self-aggrandizing. It's always this really consistent model of inviting people in. Shannon, good morning from Austin. Thank you so much for the words today. Shannon, you are probably a lot warmer than we are. So, and Austin is one beautiful, 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 beautiful city. One of my favorite cities. Linda, God bless and Godspeed to Nancy, formerly mother-in-law, who went home yesterday. We will definitely keep her in your prayers as well. Some other folks. And Linda posted last one there, dinner with Jesus. Can you imagine how sweet? And I think Jesus goes, yeah, I need you to think about that, because it would be sweet. And that's why, when, again, not to belabor the point, but that's why he chose Passover, to be, the last meal, the communion, to be what we celebrate him with. So, folks, great to chat with you this morning. Wishing you all the very best. God bless. Little invite, little softness, and a little see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.